Hello chess friends and welcome to the channel. Today is round 6 at the European Team Championship 2019. Russia and Ukraine are leading the tournament and today they play together. So let's watch the beautiful game between Andreikin and Ivanchuk. Let's get started. Dmitry Andreikin with the white pieces opens with e4. Here comes c5, the Sicilian defense, knight to f3, d6 and d4, the open Sicilian. C capture, the knight recaptures, knight to f6, knight to c3, and here comes a6. We are in the Najdorf. But here comes the first surprise, because white continues with g3. This is the Zagreb variation or the Fianchetto variation. With e6, Ivanchuk is creating the small center Scheveningen style. Bishop to g2 and queen to c7, starting to add some pressure on the c5. Short castle, bishop to e7, because of course also black wants to castle, bishop to e3, and short castle for black. Move 9, here comes g4. This is the line that gives white the best results. Now, of course, it's not possible to play e5. It seems that is winning the pawn, but the knight can jump to f5. So here comes h6, stopping the pawn, controlling g5. Only 3 games in database. The most important one is a victory by Safarly, strong grandmaster, with the white pieces against an international master in 2015. Here comes f4. Instead, Safarly relocated the knight to f3. With f4, we can consider the game original. Knight to c6, h3, bishop to d7, and now knight back to f3. Here comes knight to a5. Of course, the idea is the knight jump to c4. This is not a mistake, but this knight looks really odd. Rook to c8 or b5 look much better. Anyway, white must bring back the knight to d2, controlling c4. And here comes b5, a3, bishop to c6. After queen to e2, black is even a bit better. But what to play as black? So now, let's imagine if the center disappears, then with an open position, white king side looks really weak. So in this position, d5, not played by Ivanchuk, is a great idea. Of course, changing everything only favors black, because black will centralize the rook, will play knight to c4, and then this position looks scary for white. So after d5, best idea is to play e5. Knight back to d7, now b4. Bishop to b7 instead of retreating the knight is really a clever idea, because now the queen is attacking the knight and this capture is terrible for the pawn structure. So knight back to d1, knight to c6, knight to b2, and here comes f6. This is the move that will open the position, giving black a strong advantage. Instead, after queen to e2, here comes rook in a, goes to c8. Ivanchuk doesn't find the right plan. Here comes some maneuvering from both sides. Queen to f2, queen to b8, bishop to a7 attacking the queen, queen to e8, bishop to b6, knight back to b7, knight to c4 looks better, but not a terrible mistake. Bishop to d4 and knight to c5. Rook in a goes to e1. Knight in c goes to d7, and even if the position is equal for Stockfish, white is the attacking side and black must defend carefully. g5 played by Andreikin is a good move. H captures, f captures, and knight back to e8. h4 now protecting the pawn, also advancing here on the king side. With bishop to d8, Ivanchuk wants to complete this bishop maneuver, changing one of the most powerful attacking pieces. In theory, this idea is correct, but it seems that in this position it doesn't work. Let's watch why. Here comes knight to f3, queen to b7, a new control on b6, bishop to h3, watching this important e6 square, and finally bishop to b6. But if before it was very difficult to understand that this maneuver is not correct, now with bishop to b4 it's clear that this move is not good, it doesn't work. Here comes h5. played by Andreikin, but this is not the best continuation. Let's go back one move. G6 is really strong, and if black capture, there is this strong capture we check. So knight to c7 reinforcing e6, bishop captures, queen captures, rook to d1 attacking d6, and this d6 square and the center in general with this cluster of pieces, this is the real weakness in black's position. This position is +2 and increasing because this configuration is really weak. Let's go back to our game. Instead, after bishop to b6, here comes h5, still white got an advantage, knight to c7 and king to h2. Bishop captures, queen captures is strong because again d6 is a problem and the queen is also watching from this strong diagonal g7. So here comes queen to b6 and queen captures on d6. Queen to c5, queen captures, knight captures, white is winning, but is winning but must convert this position into a full point. Knight to e5 attacking the bishop, bishop back to b8, to e8. Now rook to d1 is a missed opportunity. Let's go back one move. This position, knight to d5 playing against this pinned pawn is super strong because there is also this check winning the rook. So best answer for black is to capture the knight, but here comes e captures, again this pawn is pinned, rook to d8, but here comes b4 attacking the only defender, not the only defender, the second defender of e6. Now if knight back to b7, this capture is +13 because of course black cannot recapture because the bishop capture we check. This f7 square is controlled 3 times, and if the king moves away, the rook is lost. So it's +13. So after knight to d5, knight captures, e captures, rook to d8, b4, best try is to capture with the rook on d5. So 2 pawns for 1 knight. B captures, rook captures, also attacking c2, but unluckily for black, there is another power move that in this position white can play. Knight to g6 wins the rook in any case, because even if there is this capture, as we said before, bishop capture, we check, the king must move away, and the rook is now unprotected and will be lost. So great short tactical ideas in this game. So let's go back to our game. We said the bishop was under attack, bishop back, rook to d1 is a missed opportunity because good idea to play against the pinned pawn. So here comes f6, g captures, rook captures, and the g pawn recaptures. Knight back to g4, king to g7 protecting the pawn, and here comes h6, that is a deflection. King to g6, b4 now, knight to d7 and knight to e2, relocating the knight in the sensible part of the board. Knight to e5, knight to f4 we check, king to h7 also blocking the pawn, and here comes king to g3, more or less equal to this knight capture we check, because with knight capture the king will capture here on h6. So knight captures, bishop captures, king captures, but these 2 pieces we still capture here on e6. Bishop captures with tempo, knight captures. At first rook to h1 we check, king to g7, so or to g7 or to g5 is the same because this knight will recapture we check. King to g6 and knight to c5, good move because the knight is blocking the c5 so that the rook cannot capture here on c2. a5, king to f4 improving the king, a captures, rook to a8, trying to find a counterplay from the a5. e5 is good because it will improve even more the position of the king, and then black must capture because or this will become a pass pawn. So capturing, the white queen will recapture, improve the queen, and takes away all the counterplay on the king side. Rook to a3, knight to e4, bishop to c6, pinning the knight, but there is no problem because the rook moves away with check. Rook to g1 we check, king to f7, knight to d6 we check, king to e7, rook to g7 we check, king to d8, here comes king to d4, and this invasion will be very strong. So bishop back to d7, now rook to g5, two pieces attacking the pawn, not possible for the rook to defend his pawn. Ivanchuk continues with rook to a2, but then resigns. In fact, this endgame is completely lost. In this position, white can play c3 without risks. In fact, after rook to d2 we check, the king will move to c5, not only away from the check, also protecting the knight and also supporting the knight in capturing the pawn. So when white will capture this pawn, nothing can stop these two connected pass pawns. In my opinion, it was a very interesting game, maybe some mistakes, but a beautiful and rich position. The other three games in the Russia-Ukraine match ended in a draw thanks to Andreikin. Russia is now the sole leader of the tournament. I hope that you liked the game. If you did, as usual, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching and see you tomorrow. Goodbye!